Hey, welcome back, brochachos. This is part two of the parts reveal, I guess, or the parts discussion. So as I said in the last one, we saw that we got the FP red, and that's what we're going to run. But I wanted to chat a little bit about how I got to choosing that one. It was one of the more difficult decisions because there's so many different options that you can go with when it comes to choosing a turbo. And so what it came down to was I wanted to run all the same components. So as you could see by when I went over and discussed the components of the head, everything is GSC. I wanted parts that are all going to work well with each other. And I didn't want to have a Frankenstein build to the best of my ability. Now, obviously, we're running a lot of different components, but where I could keep things similar, that's what I wanted to do. And so FP offers a whole line. The exhaust manifold, they offer the O2 housing and all that stuff, and I wanted to just keep everything uniform. So I ended up I knew I wanted to go FP. That's what took me away from the Garretts and the Precisions and all the other options. And then it really came down to looking into the green, the FP red, and the FP black. And how I landed on the red was I talked to some people, read a lot about people's builds on the green, and the green sounds like an awesome daily driver. But because I'm building that head and trying to get more up top, the FP green seems to kind of fall on its face at the higher rev range, and that's no fun. So I wanted to make sure I could pull power all the way through the power band, and the FP red was right in the middle. FP black seemed like it was going to be a late spooler. I wouldn't bring on full boost till probably 45 or maybe sometimes closer to 5,000 RPMs. But the power came on really strong. Also, the FP black was rated for well over the horsepower goals that I'm looking for. So I think the FP red is capable for up to, I think, like 600 or 650. But if I'm not going to try to max it out, somewhere around 500 or a little bit less, I think it'll be comfortable, and it should have a nice long lifespan, hopefully, if everything is taken care of properly. But yeah, going back to the FP green, a little bit torquier down low, which sounds nice. But for daily driving, it's fine. I can spare a couple hundred RPMs of spool. The FP red comes on, I think, 300 or 400 RPMs later than the green. Doesn't have as much low end torque, which ultimately that's healthier for the engine in my eyes, and it shouldn't wear it out too much if I'm always having to get into boost at like 3,000. So I appreciate that the FP red will not kick in till probably closer to 38 is what I'm thinking. But yeah, that's kind of how I landed on the FP red. I'd like to put it back on you guys. If you have any feedback, let me know if you're running a green or if you're running a black or a red. Let me know what your experience is. This is one of those components that's a pretty easy swap out. You switch the turbo, get a tune, and it can be switched on a dime. So if I end up getting it here and I find that I'm not a big fan of it, I'm willing to check out the green. I feel like the black is nowhere near what I need right now for the daily driver. But yeah, if you have any feedback for me, let me know what your experiences are with these FP turbos. And I'm sure I'm going to have a great time with the red. I had a great time with the stock turbo. And I also looked at the HTA 71, and that seemed to be kind of like in the same boat as the FP green. So yeah, hopefully I made the right choice. I guess a lot of it is in the tune, so I'll talk to Steven, and he knows what I'm looking for. He understands what the build is. He's been working with me on this build as I've been compiling parts for the past year and a half. So really, I think it's going to come down to that tune and how the car responds to putting your foot on it. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at, and that's why I've chose the FP red. All right, so moving right along here. This is I think this is the complete gasket set for the 4G63. Yeah, the gasket kit here. It's every gasket we need for the rebuild. I've got a couple of doubles because I think when I ordered the oil pump, I think it just came with it. So there's a new oil pump. That's an OEM oil pump, brand new with gaskets there. Okay, and then I was a little skeptical about the gates. I read some things, but this is just the accessory belt. This is not the timing belt. I did get a new timing belt, I think over there. but this is just the accessory belt. So this is going to run the alternator here. So this is a remanufactured alternator, nice and fresh. This will give me some peace of mind for that reliability. I had a couple of issues with my alternator before. For some reason, it left me stranded one time because the clip came out. That was strange. We just had to end up plugging it in, but it took me some time to figure that out. So that was not good. And over here it says new starter, as well as the starter plate, because reliability. More gaskets. Over here I have ordered a couple sets of the throttle body shaft seals. These are STMs. I was hoping to run Bushers, but they no longer source those. So these are the STM throttle body shaft seals. If you have an Evo and you haven't updated these, even when I got my last tune, like I had some leaks coming out of the fuel injector seals, as well as the throttle body shaft seals. So this will just kind of tighten everything up, close up those boost leaks, and hopefully get me a little bit more power and help me with my levels. This here is, hopefully I can get this out. This is a beautiful piece. This one here is, this one here is the AMS fuel rail. This is obviously why I got a good deal on it, because of those scratches there. They said it had a little bit of blemish, so that there is the reason why I got it for a good deal. I bought this a long time ago. It's not a big deal. But yeah, we'll be running AN lines from the fuel tank to here. This is gonna go on, I have this new throttle body. This is a stock ported throttle body from Boost in Performance. And the fact that it's ported is just kind of extra. It wasn't really a priority for me. I did not end up porting the head. I did not end up porting and polishing like anything else really. So this is going to be the only thing that's ported. So it is what it is. It's got the block off plate for the ERG. Yeah, I really got it just because I didn't want to have to go through the hassle of painting. So I saw a clean one. Guy was selling it for super cheap. Wanted to get rid of it, and that's why I have this piece, which it ended up being a good thing, because when Brandon took apart the block, he said that my manifold was pretty dirty inside and wanted to send it over to the machine shop to get it cleaned up and to get it all dialed in. So ended up being a good thing that I got this. It's one less thing I got to do now that I'm doing the build. This piece here, this is the Keekley HLA. It's a pressure regulator for the head, and so this is a pretty simple install. I think it's just like 1 or 2 bolts. It goes right underneath, right on top of the head, where the cams sit. Yeah, this is like a super safe piece. Like I said in the beginning, if Mitsubishi was making the car nowadays, this would be something that they would probably put on all of them. This is just going to regulate the fuel pressure that goes to the head. This here is just a little bit of eye candy. Just a brand new valve cover, and I guess the bonus of taking so long on the build is you can wait, and you know how like SDM has those 4th of July sales and all that stuff. Well, I ended up getting this for like $220, which is crazy, because now if you look online, even on that website, they're going for like over $400. I don't know if it came down to supply and demand or what. But I'm really stoked that I was able to get this one at a good price, because I really wanted it, but I couldn't justify ever paying that much. And when I saw that I could get it for so cheap, I had to just jump on it. All right, and here's the spooling up coil-on plugs. This is a piece that I had before. This is not a new piece. I could use a little bit of cleaning up, but this is a really functional piece. It's made a really big improvement in my throttle response and in the drivability of the car. It also makes changing out those plugs super simple. I can change out all the plugs in like 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, and they're much more powerful. It uses all the OEM Denso coils, so this is definitely one. I heard the JDC one is also similar in quality. JDC wasn't around when I bought this, but I wouldn't change anything. I like this one. It hasn't let me down. Looks clean and very functional. That gets the job done.